Hey, welcome to the Wealthy Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Hannah.
And this is Derek.
Hey, so you stumbled upon the Wealthy Podcast, and we're grateful you did. But just in case this is your first time listening, this podcast is all about the things that matter most. Just kidding. No, not at all.
I think so. A little bit.
A little bit. They definitely cohabitate, very important things in addition to other things that are very important in our lives. But here at Wealthy, we talk about wealth and health and wellness and how we can help from our experiences and our education to give you the power to live well and wealthy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty much. So yeah, that's all I've got. So I'm just tuning out. Derek, you've got the show.
Okay, see you later.
Enjoy. Have a great rest of the episode. Bye-bye.
No. So like Hannah said, if this is your first time, we're both professionals in our respective industries. I am in the finance industry. Hannah is in the health and wellness space in a lot of different ways. So yeah, that's where we come from. We're both professionals. If you want to question us, perfect. Send us an email or a DM or something, and we'll be glad to work with you. But today, we wanted to talk about something that I think is kind of multifaceted. It can get a little like intangible, but at the same time be very literal. So we're going to start on the intangible kind of, would you say, like...
It's more my side of things than your side of things.
Yeah, I think a little bit. You could say that, but I think it'll speak to a lot of people, and then we'll move into the real world applications because that's what we're here for. We just want to give you guys tools to improve your life, to help you be healthier and wealthier. So
what's our topic?
Our topic is just being engaged in your life, and how we're going to start is we want to talk about...
So engagement.
Yeah. Being engagement is the topic, and we want to talk about how powerful it is and how powerful you can be when you actually engage your mind and kind of like your heart into something rather than going through the motions or just kind of either doing what you've always done or doing what you're told or doing what everyone else is doing. Good things can come from that, but those are the bad examples. So take that grain of salt. But yeah, we want to talk about what you can do to become more engaged, maybe some things that are keeping you from that, and then how it's going to help you. So Hannah, in your space, in the health and wellness, you see people every day that are trying to change their lives. They're actively trying to do it. And obviously some people have much more drastic results than others, whether that's good or bad. Either way, you see people that are changing their lives and other people that seem almost kind of like they are just hitting their head against the wall. They're trying, but it's just not working for them. And from what you've told me, it seems like a lot of it does come from their engagement into their activities to change their life, their workouts, their eating, even just their mentalities and their attitudes. So talk about that a little bit. And what are those differences that you've seen and how does it affect them?
So yeah, I think engagement in this scenario that we're talking about is all about mindset. It is, and I believe that mindset is a huge, if not the biggest factor of any goal. And so with me being in more of the physical world of goals, people wanting to change their physiques, their look, how they feel in their jeans when they wear them, all of the above, people can show up to workouts and just put in the effort and still get results and still get something from it. And it's really interesting. I actually had an experience recently where I had a personal training client and I could tell she didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
She was like kind of snippy with me. And it was just like, okay, well, this makes me not to want to be here with you either because I'm human. But I gave her a killer workout. And the whole time she was like, I just hate you during this workout. I hate these workouts so much.
Yeah.
But she's like, I know when we've done these in the past that these are the workouts that I feel even like the best after. Right. So she wasn't there during her mind. Like I had to make it easy for her to be there, present and mentally there. I tried to ignore and not present any exercises that I know she'd whine about or that I know would push her too far the other way that she wouldn't want to work.
But you said it was still a killer workout though. Like it's still Slater.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I just had to choose wisely. And I've been working with her for a long time, like a year and a half. And so I know what is good for her and what is like easy for her to do, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But like that stuff is the stuff that will really kick her butt. And so it was just a day of butt kicking. And she texted me after and was like, I feel amazing. Dang it, Hannah. Like I feel amazing. And it's like, the only thing I could text back was like, don't forget this feeling. Like next time you don't want to work out, next time you want to eat like crap, next time you want to late cancel on me or not show up with a good attitude for a workout, remember this feeling and know that this is a result from hard work. I showed up. I was there. I didn't half-ass my training just because she wasn't ready to do it, you know?
Yeah. And I think you, even knowing you, when you get clients that don't show up and they tell you, I don't know if I want to be here. You're like, okay, we're going to kick it up another 5 notches.
Yeah. I make it a little harder.
I'm going to make you remember that you didn't want to be here. And it's going to be one that you're like, I didn't want to be there. But like you said, the harder the work, the bigger the impact after, right? Yeah.
And it was just the type of workout it was. Like for her, one of her weaknesses is cardio, which mine too, sister.
Everybody's right.
Right. So, and she was moving this weekend, like lots of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But without getting in too deep into it, we did like, it was just a cardio sleigh. Like I would have her do 5 minutes of cardio. And I let her choose though, if she would walk on an incline at a quick pace or if she would run at no incline. And then she would come to the ground and do a couple circuits. And I mean that for 45 minutes, just back to back to back.
Jeez.
So she ran it was a great workout. Yeah. You would have loved it. But I just hope the next time we work out that she is engaged because mental engagement, and heart engagement into something will create bigger results from wherever you're at.
Oh, for sure.
If you're like, let's say you're going to a movie and you have earplugs in, you have a cold and you're wearing an eye mask. So you can't hear anything very well because you have earplugs in. You can't see anything because you have a eye mask on.
Yeah.
Or a blindfold or what? Yeah. Sleeping mask. I don't know, whatever. And then you have a cold, so you can't taste the yummy popcorn. That's really the reason you went to the movie. So it's like, what's the experience? You know? Yeah, and if you're not mentally engaged, and I kind of think of this as like sensuality, like being in touch with your senses, that helps you stay engaged mentally. Yeah. You know, what am I seeing right now? What am I hearing right now? What am I feeling right now with my fingertips or inside me? You know, like what are my emotions saying to me? What is my heart saying to me? Did I already say smell? What am I smelling right now? What are my feet standing on? You know, all those things. Yeah. Checking in and seeing where your senses are and where your body is, that helps you become more engaged.
That's cool. I totally get that. Because, you know, for me, it started out with just engaging just the mental side of it with just feeling motivated to work out and go to the gym.
Totally.
But over the last year, I've noticed something and I liked it. So I started to cultivate it, which is, it started with the mentality of, okay, let your body do whatever it needs to do to accomplish this work you want it to accomplish. And so for me, it was running, right? And I was just trying to I would be in the middle of my run and be thinking like, okay, what the heck? Like, how do I be better at this? Because this is so hard. And I feel like there has to be a way for me to be a better runner. And so I started really paying attention mentally to my body and how it felt while I was running. And I noticed, okay, well, I was very tight in my chest and in my core, and not in like because I know you need to have like good posture, and like posture is a huge thing with running, but I realized that I needed to relax. For me, it was too tight and tense. I needed to relax, and then going down that path, it led me to feeling the expansion of my lungs. And like in a really literal sense, like you were saying, what am I smelling and feeling? But being able to feel my lungs get big and feel almost that stretch, it felt great. And then just feeling that led me to really feel the breath that was coming in with each intake, and paying attention to my breathing really led to me not being so winded while I'm running because I'm paying attention to the rushing in of the air and my breath out. And then that really led into me finding this like hypnotic rhythm while I run, and I'm only thinking about my breathing. And it led into just other little things along the way of, I have really tight legs, right? And so my calves cramp when I run, especially because I run at an incline. And so no matter how much I stretch, if I run long enough, like I'm going to cramp in my calf, like it's just going to happen. And I've just barely started to get to the point where I can pay attention to that and almost mentally kind of send like a relaxation thought or signal. I don't know, but to my calves, just like, okay, just relax, like let your feet land. They want to land, don't think about you're running on an incline. So raise your toes up, like doing weird things like that.
Or you have to run quiet because you're on a treadmill. And
yeah,
you're
exactly.
In a public place. That's always my biggest thing.
Yeah. And so now I've noticed, and now I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, like I'm this like loud, clompy runner, just like, because I'm a 185-pound guy. I'm not heavy, huge, but I'm not this sprite little guy either. And I'm not sprinting, so I'm not light on my toes, but I'm just that weird medium. But yeah, so like you said, though, really not just being like thinking, I'm hot, I'm out of breath, and this sucks, but thinking, well, okay, what is my body? Like, I don't know. It's just, you just need to like kind of have that reflection of how you're feeling and what your body is doing, and engaging my mind with my body and what it's doing, instead of rather letting my mind get wrapped up in itself and being distracted on other things. But just, and I think it makes me think about when I've taken your yoga classes, and you talk about that a lot, and I'm sure you'll talk about it, but just thinking about feeling your breath come in and feeling your muscles relax, or feeling whatever it is that certain pose, or, whatever you talk about it more, but it makes me think of that. And it's so interesting how it has crossed over into my world of more weightlifting and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see that. And now that I've realized it, I can cultivate it and think about it. And it's come into my weightlifting of how does my muscle feel when I do a bicep curl, right? The most bro thing there is, non-yoga thing there is, right? That people might think of, but it's, oh, like I can feel the bicep curling. I can feel it. And what if I move my hand this way? Or what if I mentally think, you know what I mean? And it's really changed my workouts, and just and kind of bringing the mental engagement and not just, well, I'm here.
So what made you realize in your workouts that you needed to be mentally engaged to them? Or like even emotionally engaged? Sometimes like I am like emotional about my workout sometimes, where it's like, sure. Not that it's like sometimes it's a cathartic thing that it's like that workout was so good I can't help just but cry or laugh or whatever what happens when I get to my car. But like investment in it, you are engaged in this workout. What made you decide that you needed that though? Like how did you realize that was lacking? Or is it something that just gradually happened the more comfortable you became with workouts?
Well, it started with the emotional side, and just from being motivated and realizing that being in the right headspace, motivation wise, and being, whether it's, people talk about like, oh, I'm so pumped for this workout, I'm excited. And just, I started analyzing that of like, well, why am I excited? And it started with kind of a shallow thing of, cause it's chest day and I love chest day or whatever. And then as I really learned that I loved the struggle of workouts, it became, I know this workout's going to kick my butt and it's going to be crazy hard. And like, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to just go through this impossible thing and really push my body. But that led into, and almost again, in a shallow way, like it doesn't always have to be this like weirdly spiritual thing. It can be. And I think those are the best moments because you're like your body and your mind and your spirit are all kind of connecting. I think that's the best moment. So if you are feeling that, embrace it and go with it. But for me, it started from a shallow side of I'm not getting a pump, whether it's in my legs, my arms, or my chest, or whatever.
Oh, I remember you seeking that pump so hard.
Yeah. And I still do. And I think every guy out there or person that does lift and gets, you know what I mean? You're always chasing the pump because you feel amazing and you always feel like you look amazing. So you're always chasing the pump. So it started with chasing the pump and really thinking about just literal things like, like I watched a video once that illustrated exactly the direction of your muscle fibers in your arms and talking about, what does this muscle, your bicep, it was like, I don't know if it's a brachii or brachial, whatever, you know that you're the anatomy professional, but they talked about how rotating your wrist was like the movement of your bicep. Yes, it brings your hand forward, like in on your elbow. But also rotating the wrist is huge. And I made that connection of, oh, well, yeah, when you flex your arm and you're flexing your bicep, you rotate your wrist in, right? So
the best bicep exercise is to screw something, is to like get a screwdriver and just do that motion.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so just little, like I said, quote unquote, shallow things like that of just changing but that led to me also trying to make that mental connection with every other exercise I was doing and the running. And it just became okay, I am thinking about how my body is reacting to everything I do while I'm here, including, this is more recent, including how is my body reacting to my mental state while I'm here? Because I do have those workouts where, yes, I'm almost emotional and I'm so into it and I'm just, attacking the workout. And then others where I'm here and I'm sweating and out of breath and this is very hard, but it sucks. And I feel like those are the workouts that so many people have, or they start out with having those and they're like, why do people work out? This is horrible. Like, all I'm thinking about is going home and watching my show or whatever. And all I'm thinking about is that I'm out of breath, I'm hot, I'm sweaty and in pain, cause that's what you're doing. So I think that people really need to work on making this mental connection of the quote unquote chasing the pump, and whether that's the mental pump you get from being there and that emotional connection, or the literal physical pump of the blood flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you can be, not to segue and take a huge left turn here, but I think you can be super engaged or disengaged in your finances as well. We talked at the very beginning of our podcasting career of how to make things easy for our listeners, and how we've made things easy in our lives of like automating savings accounts or bills or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's making it easy for you, but that shouldn't cause disengagement to whatever you're doing. You still need to figure out how to be engaged. It's almost like the budget. I used to be, what did you call me? The budget lord? Oh,
you still are though.
I haven't touched it for months.
But that's you. But it's still a role that we have in our house.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm a very crappy overlord of
you
the
haven't
budget.
Been mentally engaged in it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I automated it to you and you kind of took it over. So then I was thinking like, oh, I don't need to worry about it anymore because Derek's on it. So I think people probably are thinking that maybe with their finances, we're starting the last month of the first quarter of the year. And that was kind of confusing. We're starting April.
Yes.
But how can we stay engaged and excited about our finances? Even when we have things automated, does that mean we have to pull everything off automation and set reminders in our phones and make it hard for ourselves again? Or what do we do?
Well, I think it comes to, setting up these automated things like your savings and investing and all that. Those are just tools to improve your effectiveness, to make you a better saver. It's just a tool. It's, yes, it does make it easier, but that's not its sole purpose in life. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't have this mentality of constantly trying to chase things that will make it easier. You know what I mean? Because we're so, you and I and Wealthy as a podcast, we're just very against chasing the shortcuts and the quick fixes and things like that. And so that's the thing. Think about it in a very literal sense. Automating your savings so that every month, X amount of dollars or X percent of your budget goes into a savings account. Is that a shortcut to anything? No, you're just saving money. It's not going to get you wealthy any faster, and it's not going to, just because you automate it doesn't mean it takes less dollars out of your budget. You know what I mean? It takes the exact amount of resources and effort for you to do it. It just takes a little bit of mental strain so that you can be more mentally engaged in other things. It's let me not worry about this and stress about this or feel guilty about it because you're not doing it. Okay, cool. That's done. It's one less thing to worry about. It's a good thing I've done. I don't have to think about it. And now I can be more actively engaged in other things, which is managing your budget, setting goals for your finances, and then coming up with ways to accomplish those goals as efficiently and effectively as possible, right? Our goals, we want to accomplish them quickly. And the awesome thing about monetary goals is it really boils down to how hard are you working? And how effective are you at working? So it's coming up with those goals and cool, I'm going to work overtime, or I'm going to start a side hustle, or, I'm going to sell extra things I don't need, or we're going to cut back on subscriptions to video services, you know, like, oh, I don't need Netflix and Hulu or whatever, you know, it could be anything, but it gives you the mental capacity and then the extra tools to go look at those things instead of being worried about trying to click the transfer button every month for your savings.
Totally.
So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And I think we don't want you to have to work harder than you have to. That's why make it easy to do all the other things that you can't automate.
For sure.
With fitness and wellness and stuff, mind, everything, connection, heart, whatever, is huge for meeting your goals and feeling your workout, you know, being present in your workout, and in just everything, and in everyday life too. You know, you can't really have a successful relationship if you're not engaged. You can't have a successful social life if you're not engaged. You know, all the things that you have to be engaged. You know, you can't just, I mean, some people do, and we've talked about this in previous episodes, but like you can't successfully live a passive lifestyle, you know, like, or unless you're so engaged in being passive, then sure, like you are the rule of that, like you are just the exception, not the rule. But it's just interesting that in our workouts that you need to dive a little bit more so and get a little bit more specific with engagement, than just what your body is saying or feeling. You have to like dive deep into the muscles, right? And I think you were getting started on that a little bit, or you were close to getting started on that. It's really interesting. And for any teachers or personal trainers out there who listen, which I hope you do, just remember to like cue in your clients to that. You know, don't just have them be there, and don't just tell them to keep working hard. You know, when they're running on the treadmill, okay, take a big deep inhale and feel how your ribs expand. Like start to bring them in to their mental awareness and engagement into your workout or into your class, but then also start talking about the muscularity of it. Like for me, you know me, I'm such an anatomy nerd, and just, yeah. So after you said you watched the video of the biceps and how the muscle fibers run in which direction, then I know for you, you're a very, very visual person, you can visualize what is happening inside.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened is I could, literally like you said, it was, I imagined the muscles contracting in that direction as I was doing it. And it was this huge, just like it was a connection. It was something clicked for me on the inside. It was awesome. And now I'm always working on that and chasing it now.
Yeah. So what does that help you with your workouts though? Like, how does that help you? What does that do for you to be able to visualize the muscle fibers and be that so engaged into your muscles?
Well, I think it's twofold. So one, the mental connection feels amazing because no one wants to go and work out. And I think this is why people struggle so much, or they fall off and they stop exercising, is because they go and then they don't feel the connection. They don't I think they go in expecting something, right? You go into your workout and other than it's going to be hard and sweaty and whatever, they expect like, well, people love this, so I should love it too. Right. And so they expect to go in and get that. And I think they have unrealistic expectations of, oh, I tried this for a month or two and I didn't just absolutely fall in love with it. It's like, well, no one does in a month or two. Like and this is so cheesy, but it's like it's a discovery. It's a journey that you're on, and it takes forever, you know, but you have to just keep searching and looking and discovering your own body and reactions. And, you know, because for me, as I found that like I said, it's a twofold effect. One, the mental effect is amazing because you love your workout. You feel like you get results from your workout because you feel like you accomplished something. You said, mind, I want you to feel what this is doing to my body, and it feels it. And you go, whoa, okay, that was really cool that I kind of told my body to feel this and do this and react a certain way, and it did. And then obviously you get the physical pump from that. So you feel even better because all the endorphins are running through your body and it's like, oh, this is great. And then twofold, it increases the effectiveness of my workout as well, because my muscle itself engages more, right? It gets the pump, it contracts harder. It, it does what you're trying to do instead of just the going through the motions. I have had workouts where I go and I could do my go-to all my favorite exercises and everything. But if something is off mentally for me, whether I'm not feeling confident in the gym, I don't have the energy, I'm distracted, the pump isn't there, the muscles don't react. And I'm just like, this is just, it's like being a beginner all over again. So having done this for over a decade now, to feel like a beginner all over again is so horrible. Honestly, it really is. I go and I'm like, why am I even here? But I know that I just have to keep pushing through it and just do it. And to me, those are the days where I feel like I'm earning those good feelings now. I'm putting in the work and paying my dues right now, so that in all my other workouts, they do feel amazing. And I think there are sometimes those days that it is just a mental day. It's a mental workout. It's do the reps, do the sets, do the things you need to do so that your body knows that whether it feels pumped and amazing or whether it feels tired and exhausted, it's going to do it either way. And that's also an awesome feeling as well, because you know that you overcame that. You didn't just go and say, this was hard, I quit. It was, this is hard. Okay, fine. I'm going to do it anyways, because I'm already here. I got to do it. Let's do it. And it feels good to know that, the next workout's going to be so good because I came in and I did the work, and I know I've earned that good feeling next time. And when you do come back, it's that much sweeter. So it really just is this like domino effect that it feeds off itself of the connection to your mind makes your muscles feel good, and your muscles feeling good and connected to your mind makes you feel good mentally, which feeling good mentally and confident and strong feeds into having strong, confident muscles. And it's just like this loop that you can get in. And I think that's what, these people that go to the gym every day and they're all about it. They know that and they feel that. And I think if someone listened to that right now, they're probably not in their head going, yes, like this is it. I get it. Cause this is how I feel about it. And I'm always going back. I want that good feeling that I get at the gym because I've found that feedback loop. So, but it all comes from that mental engagement. It all comes from that thinking inward. And whether, you're taking it in a literal sense and applying it to your bicep curl and your squats and getting that muscle to pump and contract and be awesome, or it's just, I need to be engaged in my relationship that I'm in. I need to think about so it's like you said, hard left turn. Let's take another one, skirt, and talk about more of the life effects of being mentally engaged and not just going through the motions, which I think we all struggle with that, especially, I don't know, all of us. I think I do sometimes because I do love my routines so much. And we've talked about that, but it's easy to get into the routine and then just kind of float along on the routine and not be mentally present while you're doing that. So relationship wise, right? If you've been with someone for a while or even work, you've done the thing at work, you know the routine, I do A, B, and C, EFG happens, all this yada, yada. And you kind of know what to expect. You know what the inputs and outputs are and the outcomes are, and then you start to take it for granted. But there's a huge change when you decide to become more mentally engaged, right? And to be present and to, in my mind, the decision is I'm going to take this energy that I have, and I know I could do the bare minimum and go through the motions of this, whether it's a work or relationship type thing, or I can take what I have and add it to the routine and add it to the relationship and add it to my work and put into it. Because while the routine you may have might be great, right? And you're happy and you enjoy it, it can only get better by you becoming more engaged and thinking about it and analyzing it and trying to think, how can I connect to this more? And it's really, to me, I think it's one of the major keys to a happy life. I mean, what do you think, Hannah?
I mean, I totally agree. Like, you have to be engaged and not complacent in your relationships and not complacent in your life. Like, I hate to use the word passive again, but you have to be aggressive and you have to take things head on, and not even in like a confrontational or an aggressive way. No, but you just have to be engaged. You can't be floating down a river without the oars in your hands. Like, even if you don't have any reason to row, you might need to, or just as you're feeling the river a little bit. What, I don't know. Maybe that's a really awful analogy. My dad's going to call me later and be like, you don't even know how to row a boat. Like,
now he's going to take you fishing.
No,
to go row. You just got to go row the whole time.
But no, I think that is true, that you have to be engaged to reap the benefits and to create the best of whatever you're there for. You have to be engaged.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think so to go with your analogy, so if you go back and listen to the passive, active, reactive episode, if you're kind of not understanding what we're trying to get through with this passive thing, but in a super quick summary, like a couple sentences here, it's okay to be quote unquote passive, but a passive person or that's living a little bit more passive life, they're not that A-type aggressive attack your life person. That's fine. But to be as successful and happy in that kind of life, you're still making decisions. You're still seeking good things and things that will better your life. It's not a giving up. That's the bad side of the passive life that we talked about. It's only letting things happen to you. It's not taking care of yourself. It's not taking care of those around you. It's only just, I let things happen to me. I don't do anything about it. And it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's the passive side can have a bad side, but the good side can be that I'm deciding to live this way. I'm deciding to do what's good for me. And while my mentality may not be this super aggressive entrepreneurial type thing, you know, which is okay if you're not like that. So go back and listen to the episode if you want more details. Did you want to add anything to that to clarify with the good and bad of passive and
no.
why it's okay to be that way, but there's a better way to do it?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to, and I'm meaning just passive as like less about a personality trait, but more just like, you know, just
like you don't care.
Yeah. Being complacent, being, like you are just not involved. You are disengaged. You know, you are not just a passive person that the good, which we talked about. It's like, you're okay at letting things roll off your back and you're okay to be flexible. This is not that, you know, if you're not flexible, that doesn't mean you're engaged, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And so, I think the tell is that you'll see a reaction, even if you are passively engaged, which is a weird thing that some people might say that's not possible, but I think it is. Just like you said, you will see results. You'll see change. Well, something will happen.
Those are the people that are showing up to their workouts, but they're not mentally there and they're not thinking about what their muscle fibers are doing. You know, they're just, when you're passively engaged, I think that's the perfect word for it. When you're just showing up to put in the work and just to pay your dues. But if you're just actively engaged, you are there, you're feeling, you know, the tread underneath your shoes, like all these things. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I think, to me, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, because we have different opinions a lot, but so I think that the person that is passively engaged, like you said, goes to the gym and I did the thing, right? I went and I did the thing. I did the workout. To me, sometimes I feel like maybe, and this could be so wrong, but I feel like sometimes they may reap the benefits on the interior, right? So maybe their heart gets a little healthier and, you know, cause they're still sweating and working, right? They're still doing a workout. So they get more of like just the generic kind of health benefits, and it may not be that drastic of a benefit or a change in their life and their body. So they might lose a couple pounds. They might look a little bit better. But to me, sometimes I feel like the people that go and they find that engagement, they get like those truly like remarkable results, right? And remarkable in a way of it's something to remark on. It's, oh, wow, look at the changes you've made. So I think it's like you can still go to the gym and do the thing and be passive and you could still see results and get in better shape and be healthier, but it's not going to be anywhere near what you would see in your life if you go and you find that engagement and your body and your mind kind of team up and say, okay, yeah, we're doing this. Instead, it's just, okay, no, body, sweat and do good things. And your body's like, okay, I'm here, but
this is why fitness studios and workouts, there was a big craze that it's a mind-body connection. It is promoting your mind-body, you know, overlap, whatever it is, because someone decided it was important and good on them because it sure is.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of funny that you acted like that the passive engaged people wouldn't be able to get, like, granted, they won't get the same results, but they're still there working out. It's not like they're getting a little bit of improvement on their cardiovascular system. They're not getting a little bit of improvement in their physique. Granted, there are different levels, and genetics have a huge play in this, and intensity of your workouts. You can still have a very intense, totally disengaged workout.
Yeah.
So that doesn't play, like, we're not talking about intensity right now. We're not talking about anything other than mental and muscular engagement. And if you're disengaged, you can still have an okay workout. Muscularly, probably not, but I could sit here and just be doing an empty bicep curl this whole time and be doing something for my muscles, something for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I have never met or heard of someone who passively was able to enter a physique competition.
Yeah, right.
Like those
they walked into the building like, wait, what the
I belong here.
Where am I?
I'm supposed to be here. I'm currently.
And then they win.
Yeah. Like, no, if you talk to any of them, it takes over their lives for
It's all
weeks,
they think about.
if not months, if not years. It's all they think about, sometimes to their detriment, which anything you do in an extreme, even if it's good for you, can be that way. But what's interesting is that and this is what I think, what I imagined when you were talking about like the really incredible results from being engaged, is like those little tiny muscles that pop that you don't see on every single body, that it's like, wow, you worked and had to think really hard to find that muscle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I go get massages and they're working on my glutes, because I have really tight legs and glutes too. And I have to tell my body, like, just release. You're okay. Just release. They have to do almost the opposite and find those little rhomboid muscles and be like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you deep in there and I'm going to get you. I was at the gym. I mean, this was years ago, but this man was wearing white leggings and looked great. And his gluteus medius was out of this world. It looked like he had 4 butt cheeks, because his gluteus medius was so defined.
Jeez.
And granted, it could have been his genetics, because clearly he and I had very different genetics.
Had to do something to bring that out though, right? To like activate those genes.
And yeah, absolutely. And he had to do the right things, but you could sit there all day and do leg lifts like Jane Fonda and not have as defined of a gluteus medius as him. He probably had to like figure out the perfect angle for his heel to be at, and what turnout his leg should be at, and how high he should lift his leg, to the point where his muscle, not his brain, his muscle loses the engagement. There is time during any repetition that your muscle turns off.
Oh yeah. It's the weirdest feeling.
Yeah. So it's like, for me, and for a lot of people, it's the very top of your bicep curl. That's why a lot of people like pause there, because your muscle is like so tight. And then at the very bottom, obviously, when it's released, but then you can get different types of contractions going on at any given point during your rep. But you just have to stay mentally engaged and figure out where to isolate and where to kind of nitpick, where you can more deeply. You have to make the mental engagement to find your muscular engagement and choose like, okay, this is what I feel when I do a half rep, like only an upper rep of my bicep curl. This is what I feel only on the bottom half. And see how you can implement that into your workouts and see how that benefits you. Not just in terms of like physique, but also in terms of like strength gains too. You know, it's just really impressive once you do connect your mind to your muscles and then to your emotions. Magical things happen, like really amazing things happen. It doesn't just have to be mind to soul to body to blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's just.
We could talk about my butt.
Oh my gosh, we could talk about your butt all day long, but then we'll just have to have a whole other episode talking about my butt. No, but it's that 3-way track. It is, okay, my brain is here, obviously. My body is here. My muscles are here. But how am I going to tie them all together and make them work together? You know, my body could be going through the motions, running on the treadmill, but I could be thinking about what laundry I need to do when I get home, or what I need to get at the grocery store, or what I need to be doing for my freaking business.
Mhm.
Lots of things going on. So what are you going to do to check out or check in to your workout?
Well, that right there is my favorite part. This is why the gym has turned into my therapy, because everything outside of the gym turns off. I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about any sort of other stress or distraction. And I think just like you said, which is so perfect, it's my brain is thinking about what laundry I have to do. My soul, my spirit is thinking about the junk food and TV show I was watching and eating. And my body is physically here doing the thing. And all of them are in different places, and none of them are here supporting each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to, I think like when you said your soul, like, I think that's a great point to talk about. But at the same time, like, your physical body could be standing in a room. And yeah, if you're not engaged, yes, we're just saying the same thing over and over again because we're saying it slightly different every time. So yes, I'm glad to hear that you agree and see what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think, so let's get super literal for the people that may be having this issue when they go to the gym and they're like, I just can't feel my muscles activate. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've tried different lifts. I've tried different exercises or machines, and I just can't feel it. I mean, do you have anything you want to jump right off the bat on to throw in of advice you would give people, or?
No, I mean, just choose to be there. Do whatever you need to do before you get into the gym to drop everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like something I say in my classes when I'm introing or getting people ready. It's like, whatever you're bringing with you, physically or not, like, leave your baggage at the door, because you have to, one, give yourself the permission to let go. You have to allow yourself to give yourself the grace that it's like, I can pick this up later. If I give myself 45 minutes, my world isn't going to crumble. There are some emergencies. Yep. I'm sure your world could crumble in 45 minutes. Absolutely. But in every day, and you're a grown up, you can assess what time it's an emergency and what times it's not. So in the times that it's not, what can you do beforehand to completely check into your workout? Can you do the laundry you needed to before you go? Could you make a list of things? We've talked about how big we are at making lists, so maybe create a list before your workout, including your whole day or whatever you're worried about. So then it's taken care of. Like, you have written it down so your brain can check out. It's on paper. Unless you lose the paper, then whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Take a picture of the paper, I guess. Goodness, I'm speaking to all the very flighty people apparently today. But no, there's no excuse to not be engaged. It's your choice. That's all it comes down to. It's your choice. And some days you do have to go through the motions, and I totally get it. And that's okay. Like, good on you. And those are the days that the workout is going to feel just that much better. My client yesterday, she didn't half-ass her workout. She did work really, really hard. She chose harder options even when I gave her easier ones. And she worked out so hard, and I'm so proud of her. And that's just going to make our next workout together that much better. It's going to make the reward of it feel so much better, because she's done the workout that it's like, I'm just putting in the
energy, effort.
No,
passion?
Opposite. No.
Oh,
no. I'm
just showing up.
Yep. I'm just showing up. And because then sometimes your body does need that and your brain does need that. I totally believe in rest days and resets and everything. So it could have been just in like her cycle that she needed that rest, or that I'm just putting in the work. I'm just here to show up, totally disengaged. And then that way the cycle starts over. If you don't choose to work out on those days, then you're just pushing that farther and farther and farther along until it just turns into having super crappy workouts or just quitting working out altogether. So That was my really long answer to your very short question, I think.
Yeah. Some things I wanted to add too, though, was for me, sometimes the baggage that I bring to the gym is my like fuel for that workout, though. Sometimes it's a huge distraction, but sometimes, and you need to learn to discern on that. Well, I did not mean to rhyme that, but no, seriously though, like for me, the gym being therapeutic, that yeah, sometimes I have a bad day, and yeah, I need to bring that bad day into the gym so I can almost mentally throw the bad day into the furnace that fuels my, here we go. I'm getting it done, and I'm working it out of my system. And that's just me. And I think, like I said, that's something you need to learn.
But it's how you bring the baggage into the gym.
Yeah. I bring it in to get rid of it.
You bring it in to drop kick it out of your life. You know, you don't bring it in passively. You don't bring it in. It's just attached to me. I can't do anything about it.
And those are the times that I'll go to the weight or the locker room, and, you know, when I'm getting ready to work out, and I do have that baggage that it's not the kind I can bring into the workout. And yeah, that's when I'm, okay, let's leave it behind, leave it in the locker room, leave it in the car, whatever. I'm here to get away from that, not to bring it in and, like you said, burn it up, get it out of my life. So, but I just wanted to say, I think there are people out there that do get that when they go to the gym, that whatever happened in their day or in their life is a good fuel for them to go and to move. Cause it could be that motivation, you know, like there's that side where, you know, sometimes negativity in your life can be your fuel. I'm not going to deny that and pretend it doesn't exist, because that works a lot for me. I'm the kind of person that you said, I can't do this. I got made fun of a lot, right? In high school, just because the way I looked, I was overweight. And so going to the gym for me, that gives me that I feel good because it's an in your face type thing. And that could be a negative emotion, but it has a very positive outcome in my life because I'm being healthier and I'm being productive and I'm improving.
But you're choosing to use it positively. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
So use that. Like, yes, we're not claiming that you're not human and don't have baggage and it's so easily to be left. Definitely use that to your advantage. Use that to your fire. Use that to your fueling, whatever it is. You know, we've even done that with our finances a little bit too, you know, just like, oh, we can't do this. Oh, we're going to.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that can be used anywhere, you know, anywhere you can be engaged, you can use those negative things positively in a healthy way to help kind of fuel and motivate your engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
sure. I was also going to say that I think in a literal sense of lifting and exercising, and this, like I said, literal. So if you're not feeling engagement in your muscles, these are things that I have played with and you can try to experiment with to find that engagement. A big thing for me was tempo of my lifts and of my workouts. So, and whether that's running or lifting or whatever you're doing, it's, you know.
Oh yeah. That was your question for me that I completely went off on a tangent. Okay.
It's okay.
I have some thoughts too.
Good. So, but you missed your chance. Now I get to say my thoughts first.
Okay, fine.
So, but yeah, tempo is a huge thing for me. Just whether, you know, slowing down and speeding up. I was right in the middle. And so for a while I found dropping my actual weight that I was lifting and speeding up my workouts, maintaining good form still always, but just taking less rest and doing, instead of, you know, 8 reps a set, I was doing 10 or 20 a set and then doing 5 sets. So I was just doing a crap ton of reps. I was very little rest. You know, that was a huge shock to my system. And I saw my body react in awesome ways. And then as I adjusted to that and started plateauing on that, I completely flipped it and said, okay, now I'm going to go back to a manageable, heavy, but manageable weight. And I'm going to focus on my tempo of the lift itself. So I'm going to, let's say a bicep curl, I'm going to lift it slower and I'm going to lower it slower. And I'm going to really focus. And that was a huge shock to my system as well, because I wasn't just lift it and let it drop. And you know, it's feeling every inch that you're moving and contracting and really paying attention to that and feeling the burn all along the way, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That was huge for me. And then lastly was playing with the weight itself, whether I was changing, you know, playing with tempo and other things, but playing with the weight itself, because I noticed that there were days that I was going on the heavy side for me and it was still a crap workout and I wasn't getting results, because even though I was physically able to push or lift the super heavy weight, for whatever reason, I wasn't doing enough repetitions with it, or I wasn't maintaining a good tempo with it. For some reason, my body was just, I can do this, but I don't care that I'm doing it. So actually, you know, whether it was even going heavier or going, I'm just saying there are a couple very plain and simple things: tempo, quantity, quality, meaning I think just like the slow doing negatives and things like that are all things you can play with, and you can apply that to your running as well. Adding in inclines, running the hill mode is awesome. Try, instead of just going for your long jog where it's like, I jog 3 miles. It's like, just do a mile as fast as you can, or do the 3 mile jog where you quick walk a little bit and then you sprint 0.1 or, you know, quarter mile or whatever. Just little things like that, I think, are you can take this right now. You can turn off the podcast and walk in the gym and take those and apply them.
Yeah. And my favorite thing to become engaged is always bringing it back to breath. Just wherever I'm at, I know whatever I need is there. And that all starts and ends with my breath. You know, in yoga, it's common to say the answers to all your questions, or the end to all your worries, is the space in between your inhale and your exhale. You know, and while that's beautiful, and I kind of am getting teary-eyed just even saying that, it's true though. Like, breath is huge and helps me stay engaged and present wherever I am in whatever situation. You know, if I'm nervous, I breathe. Or if I need to remind myself to breathe. If I'm angry, I need to breathe. If I need to feel my muscles a little bit more, it's going to start with those muscles that are in between my ribs called intercostals. Like, I am going to feel those little babies expand. And that's going to remind me that I can actually feel the muscles that I'm lifting the weight for, or that I'm lowering down for a tough pose, you know, or something like that. And that's just something that I really try to remind my clients about. Just return to your breath. If your thoughts start to wander, if you're not even mentally engaged, return to your breath. If you're not physically engaged, come to your breath. You know, that will connect everything.
Yeah, I like that. I've noticed that I really like when I'm having a hard workout and I finish the set or whatever. Yeah, just taking the huge inhale through my nose and out through my mouth. And just like you said, one giant one, and really feeling it, it will totally change the pace of what I'm doing. And instead of feeling like I'm so exhausted and out of breath, it's like, I'm still tired, I'm still out of breath, but I think you would love this. It grounds me into what I'm doing right then and there. And it kind of brings my mind back. It wakes me up. It's like a splash of cold water almost. I'm just totally. Like, oh, I'm here. Okay, cool. Like, instead of just, I'm dying and I'm, I'm out of breath and I can't do this. It's just like that huge, okay, like, where am I? Awesome.
Yeah,
it's
there
cool.
are a ton of different breathing styles too, depending on what your goals are, but just basic breathing works fine too. Just in and out. But there's like Valsalva breathing for weightlifting. There's Ujjayi breathing for yoga.
What?
There's a lot of different stuff. There's even like single nostril breathing that's like really energizing, and it like flushes a
single
ton of
nostril.
Yeah, so I'll do it with you sometime. But it's like you take an inhale and an exhale through one nostril, and then you switch sides. So usually you take your peace fingers and then your thumb and your pinky finger. So peace fingers, so your pointer and middle finger go to the space in between your eyebrows. Then your thumb and your pinky finger can alternate. You should be able to touch both sides of your nose. And right now you can tell I'm maybe holding on to both sides of my nose right now. But release one side, usually starting with your right. Take a big inhale, take a big exhale, then switch. Big inhale, big exhale, switch. Cool. And that's really cool because it actually gives a shot of brain shot of breath to the side of the brain on the opposite side. So, and that's what I like to visualize when I'm doing that breathing technique is like, okay, lefty is getting a shot of air. Righty's getting a shot of air. Yeah. And I've never done drugs before, but it's such a rush. Like it's more so than caffeine could ever do to me. Cause I swear I can't be caffeinated. Like I just can't. But breathing helps, and breathing can energize me.
Yeah, I think I like that because it's very concentrated with the one nostril, and it's very deliberate.
Yeah,
it's not just like it takes a physical action with your hands in a special pose,
and you have to like mentally be there.
Yeah.
So you're not just sitting doing the same nostril for 16 times.
So that's cool. Yeah. It forces that engagement.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And have you ever noticed if you breathe, you should be breathing. If you ever yawn during your workouts or like after a set or anything.
Yeah.
So that means you're not breathing enough.
Really?
Huh.
Okay.
So your body will force you to yawn when you're not getting enough air. Like it's almost like a reset for your breathing.
Because you get that huge rush of air. Yeah. And it's almost like, okay, now you can breathe again. Like, in case you forgot how to breathe.
Now you're regulated body. Yeah. So listeners, if you ever yawn during your workouts, I notice this a ton in my clients, and then I tell them to breathe and then they don't yawn again. So notice that and check in with your breathing, and please let me know if you notice that you weren't breathing to the best of your breathing abilities, and then you yawn, and then you start watching your breathing, and if it improves and you don't have a yawny workout.
Yawny workout. Yawny workout.
Yawny, and then what was the other name?
Oh, Laurel. Yanny or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, awesome. Do you have any last words for the peeps?
No, just stay engaged wherever you walk into, wherever your body goes. Make sure your mind and your heart and your muscles are all engaged with you.
Yeah.
They all work together, and it will just be a disservice to you if you get used to not showing up completely.
Seriously.
Chronically, like it can happen once or twice or 3 times or whatever, but don't have it be a habit. Don't let yourself get away with it multiple times in a row, because it will just, it'll be damaging. It'll be harder to get yourself out of it than it was to get into it, just like most bad habits. Yeah.
I think my last piece would just be, you need to remember the why am I even here? You could say, oh, I'm here because, and that gives you that purpose, and it makes that mental connection. It brings your mind there. And I think that when you don't make a habit of bringing your mind into what you're doing and reminding yourself of your purpose for being there, doing whatever you're doing, you start creating this bad habit of not knowing your purpose and not knowing your purpose in life. And I think I think it really does lead into people living lives where they want, what am I even doing with my life? And I mean, that's a horrible place to get. And that's the extreme example, but it happens. And it comes from this building a habit of complacency and not bringing that engagement into your life, whatever you're doing, workouts, relationships, work, be engaged, be into it, have a reason to be there and to make the most out of it. And what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, thanks for listening. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. Hannah, where can the people connect with us?
You can connect with us, Wealthy Podcast, at Wealthy Podcast, anywhere you find at symbols. We have an email as well. Yep. So just get connected through social, and then you can find our email. It's just wealthypodcast@gmail.com. It's not anything crazy. You probably could have guessed it. You can also connect with me personally with my Instagram at Health by Hannah, or my website, where I have awesome programs, personal training, and even merchandise is launched on the site. So go check it out at health. Well, it's not at, but like at www.healthxhannah.com. The X means by. If you are a construction worker's daughter, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh. Very cool. And if you want to connect with me, I am just at Derek Spawn, DerekSpohn.
And he doesn't have any merchandise yet.
I don't have merchandise, but if you ever want to reach out to either of us for any questions at all, if you are wondering about your specific situation, please do so. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all solution to life, but we're here to help you find the solution for you, whether it is your fitness, your health, or your wealth. We're here for you guys. So please reach out, and please tell someone else, tell a friend about the podcast, and just reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, absolutely. It's seriously one of our favorite things to hear that you're actually listening. I had someone the other day compliment both of us on just that it's so cool that we're actually doing what we want. Like, that we started a podcast and we're doing it. We didn't just do That's 2 awesome. Or 3 episodes. So good on us. Yeah. And we really do appreciate hearing your feedback and just that you listen. We so appreciate it. So make sure you rate, review, subscribe, and tune in next week. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, guys. Bye.